join us on the discussion segment on Good Morning Anambra, the 28th day of October 2025. My name is Ajulichukwu Okabwe.
And my name is Nonye Mokoye. Election is around the corner, and you'll be expecting more of election here on ABS television and even our radio station. You know, we cannot grow tired of creating awareness on what citizens ought to do to have a credible election coming November 8, 2025 here in Anambra State. And before we really delve into all we have today, let's bring up this press release for the information of the Anambra. And of course, if you are not in Anambra State, maybe you will come in for the election. This information is for you. Extension of a permanent voter card PVC collection in Anambra State. We say the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has approved the extension of the ongoing collection of permanent voter cards, PVCs, in Anambra State. The decision was actually released at a meeting of the commission held on Monday, the 27th of October 2025, following several appeals from citizens and stakeholders requesting additional time to enable eligible voters to collect their cards. The exercise, which was earlier scheduled to end on Sunday, 26th October 2025, has now been extended from Wednesday, 29th October to Sunday, 2nd November 2025. It covers persons who registered during the recent continuous voter registration exercise in the state. Registered voters who are yet to collect their PVCs are encouraged to take advantage of the extended window to do so at the designated collection centers across the 326 registration areas wards in Anambra State. The Commission once again reiterates that PVC collection is strictly in person, as no collection by proxy is allowed. INEC appreciates the patience, enthusiasm and cooperation of the good people of Anambra State and urges all eligible voters to use this opportunity to collect their PVCs and get ready to participate in the forthcoming governorship election. This announcement was endorsed by Mrs. Victoria Messi, Director, Voter Education and Publicity.
Okay, that's how we are starting the program, telling you that if you've not collected your PVC, you have an extension to go get that so that you can exercise your franchise and then have a stake in who becomes your next governor. And then quickly in the studio this morning, our topic to discuss is going to be Anambra November 8 Guber elections, campaigning for a free, fair, and credible polls. And in the studios, we've been joined by two gentlemen that will be talking, throwing their weight around the importance of this voting, and then INEC assuring us of a credible election. First, we have Nonso Orakwe, Executive Director of the Catch Them Young Community Initiative, talking about Katikoi. And also we have Izuchukwu Francis Ejikeme, a political scientist and a public affairs analyst. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, wonderful viewers. Good morning, Anambra.
Good morning.
It's always good to have you around.
You're welcome to the studios.
Thank you.
Yeah, Anambra November 8th election. Then we've seen in our newspaper review this morning where the INEC chief, the number one citizen of INEC, talking about the chairman, talking about Amupetun, was giving us that there is not going to be any dragging anybody to the court after elections. I think there are some reforms that INEC are actually working. Maybe with the National Assembly, we can see all those put in place. He has assured us on assumption of office that his tenure is not going to be that of what happened with his predecessor, and that the issue that mounted during the IREF glitches and the rest of it all will be looked into. All of this is to give Nigerians, you understand, that hope that no problem, come 2027 elections, everything is going to be right. But before the 2027 election, this is the first litmus test for Amupetun, that is the new INEC chair. Izuchukwu, let me begin with you. What are going to be his expectations What would India Anambra be expecting? What will Nigerians be expecting of him mirroring the November Anambra Guber elections?
Well, the November 8, 2025 election, Anambra State gubernatorial election, will be one of the most critical democratic texts for the new INEC chairman. And you know, Anambra State election is always off-season. So the 35 states and the FCT, all eyes on Anambra.
All eyes on me.
Yes. And I listened to his speech after he was sworn in the new INEC chairman. And as a learned gentleman, as an erudite professor of law, who knows the law, who has promised to uphold transparency and credibility, I think I do not have much to say about him until after November 8th. For now,
yeah.
our eyes.
There were some promises he made to Nigerians on assumption of office after taking about the rest of it all. I think in his first press conference, telling Nigerians that they can go and sleep and that this time their vote will count. And do you expect Nigerians to take that statement hook, line, and sinker?
Yes, and Nigerians will take it after Anambra November 8th election. That promise or whatever thing he made will be after Anambra State Guber election come November 8th.
Will only be counted.
Will only be counted.
Okay.
So if we have the most peaceful, the most credible, the most transparent election in Anambra State, I think Nigerians will say, this is the messiah we've been waiting for. Okay, for Nigerian election, look at what happened in Anambra State. INEC can now use it, okay. Nigerians will now put their trust in INEC and say, this is what happened in Anambra State.
Okay, let me come to you, Nonso, quickly. Amupeton, this is captured in today's daily, that's this day newspaper. The INEC chair says, court can't continue to decide election winners. It must be at a polling unit. I know several times your organization category has had interface with INEC, interface with even international election observers, and so many other organizations that has to do with elections and civility in Nigeria. Based on what the new INEC chair is saying, courts can't continue to decide election winners. It must be at the polling unit. Mirror it down to what you know, based on your own experience as being the executive director of Catch Them Young community initiative. What can this actually be achieved in Nigeria?
Okay, so thank God is coming up now, and I believe him adding voice to it is an advantage to the process of youth-led electoral reform priorities projects ongoing now, okay? And one of the recommendation is pre-election petition resolution.
Pre-election.
Petition resolution. Pre and post-election,
okay.
Resolution.
Because I was wondering, what are you resolving before the election itself?
And post-election resolution. Pre is primary, okay? Where you will have primary elections and someone was, jittering or have some reservations that this primary didn't go well, and the party goes ahead to do stuff, okay? The person still is in court and run election and finally won the election. The person is still in the court fighting for his mandate. Do you get it? At the end of the day, another petition can also come from your position that the person didn't win, I'm the one that won. So that recommendation, explains that these petitions should be resolved before the swearing in. Okay?
Yeah.
So if he's coming from there, that means he's actually supporting the recommendation coming from the young people across the country. That recommendation, I can't remember the number, but I think we have discussed that over and over here. So what I'm trying to say is an added advantage to the advocacies young people have been doing in Nigeria, both in the National Assembly. In fact, let me tell you, the advocacies are now going to step down to the state legislators to pass the same law at the state level when the time comes. In fact, that is the next activity we are going to face now. So what am I trying to say? He can't just say it because without backing it with law, okay? Since we are now making amendments in our electoral reform, that would be, he will now need to join voice to us to influence that recommendation, okay, to influence it to the National Assembly so that they will pass it as law. He can't just sit down in the office and say it without implementation.
All right, we are now here to campaign for a free, fair, and credible election, you know, owing to the coming of November 8th governorship election in Anambra State. That's exactly 1 week plus now. When we talk about free, fair, and credible election, we've been saying it, it's been ringing bell, but I would want us to drum it. What actually does it mean? Free, fair, and credible election. For the benefit of those watching us, they have been hearing it. So what are we here to do when we talk about free, fair, and credible election? Also?
Okay, so when we are talking about free, fair, credible election, we are talking about transparency and accountability. From the umpire, number one, from the umpire. Because what led us Nigerians to this level of voter apathy is because there is no trust again on the empire. Okay? Now, check out. In fact, one scenario that always pissed me off. In 2021 election, Catch Them Young Community Initiative, in partnership with National Democratic Institute and other partners, international partners that held campaign against voter apathy and also violence-free election in Anambra that brought Two-Face Idivia to this state. Okay? Now, we had a Southeastern program, forum, stakeholders forum, that will address violence-free elections held in Hilton, yes, here in Oka. We invited the umpire in Anambra State to come and show the people, tell the people how prepared you are. Police were there. In fact, it was a REC representative from Imo State that represented REC in Anambra in that program. You see where people get it, you know, we don't trust these people because you don't tell them what happens, just like the number one umpire, the new, that is, you know, he's full of innovations, he's full of, his agility is on a high side. He wants to show that he can deliver, which is very fine, okay? Now, it's now left for him to be updating Nigerians from time to time what, just like what Jega, is it not Jega, the Mammoth did, to raise the morale of Nigerians. And at some point, the thing now, you know, his tenure was not really totally bad. But what I'm trying to say is this, in that program, I'm referring to Southeastern, in that program, I called the REC personally. The letter has been sent to them like 6-7 days to the or
event.
more.
To the
or
event.
more to the event. The 3 days to the election, we kept to the program. We kept reminding her. Only to get to that day, she told me bluntly she's not coming. And no apologies to that. Can't you please, man, send the representative? I'm saying it on air because it's boiling my heart. So the next, can you send representative? No, I'm not sending. That was the conversation on phone. And that was so rude on me and the entire program. Ebonyi State were there. Ebonyi State NOA came. Ebonyi State INEC representative were there. Abia State INEC and NOA was there. Imo State.
Probably the reason why she didn't call was because the stake was an Anambra State and not this state that you just made mention. So she probably felt there was a need for her not to be there to answer things. That was Anambra.
No. He doesn't know who you invited. Stakeholders are coming there, and it has to do with election. Where you she supposed
election
to,
for which state?
Yes, for Anambra State.
Exactly. So she felt she would be under the line.
Are you answering for INEC
I'm
now?
not. I'm not answering.
No. Let me clear this. This is your state, for crying out loud. This is where the election is holding.
What we are actually looking at is the fairness, the free and
Unfair.
credible
So
election.
now I'm just trying to tell you why it's not fair, it's not free, and it's not credible. Okay. First of all, before these three items will occur, you have to show people the trust. People have to
Convince
people that these things will be. That's number one thing. Now, that number one is where, okay, now, aside that, radio programs we have been going, we invited them, come, just like the time of Nkwachuku Oji. That is the man, in fact, I give it to him. Nkwachuku, wherever you are, God will bless you. Because the man was everywhere. Is it?
He's always here.
To tell people how prepared they are. This is what people want to see. To gain that trust, and people can say this election was credible. It was, even if along the line there is glitches and some challenges, they can understand. But whereby you are nowhere to tell people, give updates to the people, that means the election has started. Number one thing is you don't build people's trust. People doesn't trust you because they don't know what is happening. That is number one. Credible, free, and fair. That is one. Then two is an inability to hold people who violate the election or violate the election accountable in the polling units. You see some mago going on somewhere, and you talk to an INEC person. You tell him, we are not mandated to do that. Police is not also mandated to do that, and that is why if you talk to police who is seated there is also looking for a way to.
He's part of the actors.
You get it to feed himself because there is hunger in the town. What am I trying to say? Now, everybody would deny they are not accountable, they are not mandated to do that, and that is why in the electoral reform priorities recommendations we have done. One of the recommendations is that create an electoral offenses commission that will be in charge.
A separate commission?
Yeah, just a commission, independent, that will be in charge of this
How many offices in Nigeria are really independent? Even those that are supposed to
creating it might not be recruiting new people. Creating it might be using the same people, maybe police, ICPC.
Will it be an extension of INEC?
No, it will not be. It will be a body on its own, but their own is to tackle offenses. If you do
offenses.
yes, to tackle electoral offenses, so that you have somebody to report to. If you experience or
what you're saying is what INEC is actually looking into with their new reforms that they are talking about that is currently.
No, what I'm trying. Sorry, let me just round it up. So what I'm trying to say is this: these are the things that mass people, and when people see that people who have been in a polling unit where 300,000 naira was given to somebody to work against a particular political party, and the person said, "No, I can't take it. You want me to, mortgage my life in the next couple of years?" He said, "No, I'm not taking it. The 300,000 naira will finish now. Tomorrow you will stay hungry." So what I'm trying to say is this is number two. Number three is inability to train the ad hoc staff properly. They don't know what they're doing. Last election, I had to begin to teach someone how to write reports, write results. On a what's it called? Result sheet. Talk more of the one where the beavers doesn't know how to handle it. Raise it. Those who were trained to man that beavers, to man the beavers, they were trained. At the end of the day, they were not used. They were dumped a night before the election.
In this last election.
Yeah.
This last election.
Do you get it? This one I'm talking about 2001 that brought in this present government. So what are we saying? The people you shortlisted their name was not the people you gave the mandate to carry on the activities on the election day. So these are in fact, the whole thing is just mistrust. Once the trust is built, there will be credible, there will be free and there will be fair.
Yeah, Izuchukwu, INEC has come up to say that come November 8th, that comprehensive training, that they've embarked on that, and that the beavers will be upgraded. They've equally done that. They went further by saying that security arrangement has been made with collaboration with other security agencies to ensure that voters, the electorate, when they vote, nobody will malhandle them. All of these are what INEC has assured us come the November 8th election. They've even, as well as saying that they've done enough voter sensitization. We just read out the other one, talking about the extension of the voter registration. And then we have the logistical preparedness. 24,000 hoc staff have been trained, Anambra election alone. And then we have a whole lot, the media accreditation, over 450 journalists have been accredited to handle this Anambra election. So with all these measures put in place, are you telling me that we have all it takes to have a credible, free, and fair election?
I can tell you for sure that with all these things mentioned by INEC,
yeah,
INEC is not 70% ready for Anambra election. You cannot tell me that you've trained 24,000 personnel.
Yeah, yes.
Whereas you have scheduled for training from 30th to 1st of November.
That could be retraining.
Not retraining. It's not retraining. I'm on inside. The training for POs and for APOs, just last night I got the list and the venues for the 21 local governments. For Idemili North, they will be trained at Abakowe Central School, Ogidi. For Okasa, they will be trained at Igudike Primary School. For Urumba North, they will be at Federal Polytechnic, Oko. And many more. So you cannot come online and tell us that you have trained 24,000 personnel for this election. Because it's not reality.
So you're saying that we won't be having a credible, fair election?
No, we'll have a credible election.
Yeah. But how would we have a credible election when we're having shortage of trained personnel that will handle it, based on what you're saying?
When INEC will be telling us this, I think by 2nd of November, that is when they must have concluded
the training.
That is when they have this and said, okay, we've trained 19,000, we've trained 20,000. Because as of now, the people that applied, INEC have not even told us, okay, this is numbers of the person, the numbers of those that applied for this ad hoc staff. And why choosing this ad hoc staff? This should be on competence and neutrality. It shouldn't be based on political partisanship or loyalty. You know?
All right, no, so...
No, if we talk about that technology of the thing,
the beavers upgrading.
The beaver, yes, we're not leveraging on technology. How much are we prepared? I've seen in a polling unit whereby the person that was giving beavers, just like you said, the person doesn't even know how to upload anything. The person doesn't even know how to operate anything. It was another person who went for the same training, but the person wasn't shortlisted. That came and said, okay, I see, this is what you will do. This is what you will be doing. So, how many, another one for this cyber security, how many cyber security experts have INEC been able to employ? Because sometimes these beavers used to have issues. They failed. You cannot contact even when you want to contact those that designated you. You can't even contact them. We have seen issues like that. And you see people writing the results, even to write it manually.
All right, we have seen those issues now. So what actually, can the citizens and of course the civil societies, in what ways can they help to ensure that the elections are conducted freely and fairly this time around? Because all we are saying, we are looking at November 8th and we are trying to, see how it's going to get better with this result, and going with the newest, the latest boss in town that has promised to do wonders to help see that elections, people begin to trust the electoral body again. So what can the citizens and the, your organization and the organization like yours, the NGOs, do to ensure that we have free and fair elections in Anambra State?
Okay, for us at Katikoi, we've been doing well even before the elections. But we stand for, we are a youth-led organization that promotes good governance. and also spice young people to go into governance and all of that. So we've been doing, just like a few days ago, we partnered with Leap Africa to organize campaign against voter apathy held in Trig Point just a few days ago, I think on Thursday, where we also invited, let me still say it, we also invited INEC to that meeting, and they refused to come. They did not come. Neither did they send a representative. Just to, and one of the press statement I made was very clear that we are highly disappointed with INEC relationship with INEC in Anambra relationship with the civil societies organization and all of that. Now, what we are doing, I think civil societies are doing well in terms of preparedness towards this election. But let me tell you, if INEC didn't come out to tell the civil society how prepared they are, let me tell you, there wouldn't be information, because the need for this collaboration or partnership with INEC is for the field soldiers, which is civil societies, to be acquainted with the necessary information that will trigger them to pass to work to the best of their knowledge at the grassroots, because it has to be the information you get is what you will pass on. That is why in civil society you see trainers of trainees, right? TOT. So if you train them well, they have information to give to the grassroots, because the grassroots might not see the INEC at the grassroots. What they'll be seeing is civil society, and those civil society is assumed that they are INEC officials.
Even talking about the civil society, it was the pressure from the civil society that made INEC to extend this voter collection. Now the question is, so does it mean that because INEC is the people that they are the ones that have this voters card, uncollected voter card, don't they think that people need to come and collect these things rather than civil societies telling them, please extend this thing, give it more dates so that people maybe out of Anambra State can come into the state? What actually is INEC even doing in their own
capacity? What I'm saying. There must be this synergy between the INEC and civil society, because INEC is not everywhere. Even if they are in the local government, there are very few in the local government. They can't handle this work alone. That is why they need to gain people's trust. Okay? If the people's trust are not there, it's vanished. So what we are doing is sensitization. By Saturday, we'll have another sensitization in the market, and on Sunday we'll have a sensitization in the church. Okay? But we need, in Katikoi, we are seeking, apart from what we are getting from online from INEC, we are not getting anything directly from the REC here in Anambra State. They are not disposed to do the work properly that will gain people's trust.
Oh no! We've seen a lot of reports on the media. I would say it's in the media, because that way I saw it, some on the social media, some on the television and radio, about all the police are doing to ensure that there is security during the election. Now, I don't know whether there is any mechanism in place, as regards avoiding vote buying, intimidation that is always associated with election in Anambra State, in Nigeria, Anambra, intimidation and other electoral malpractices. Is there any mechanism in place to avert that?
So that is why, the powers are not even with the police. You see, in past elections, you have EFCC arresting some people who are doing vote buying and all of that. It's still not their this thing. But what they are trying to do is security agencies to manage the situation, because it is a security issue. Okay, they will manage it, but the law has not really empowered them electorally to do what? To handle that situation. That is why it's reflecting on the recommendation that there should be an offenses commission that will solely man that responsibility. So what I'm trying to say is, even okay, take for instance, it's happened to me directly in 2019 general election. Something happened in my polling unit, and I was calling police. 2015 election. I was calling police. He said, "Okay, I'm coming. Okay, let me talk to my guy. Let me talk to my DPO." I called again. He did not pick the call. So you see, police hands are tied. They are not mandated. Even if they are mandated, some of the police are also not. They also need money.
Who is tying their hand? Are they not security officers?
No, tying their hand is tying their hand is the other way.
I know.
do you understand?
It's not their responsibility to ensure that
There's peace. Good. It is. But the way things are going in Nigeria, we have to have a kind of a serious law that will be there, not only making the law, but enforcing the law. So what I'm trying to say is this: the vote buying, to me, it's something that has come to stay until the law stipulates it clearly and mandates a particular security agencies or create one to handle it. That anything that happens within the elections, call it vote buying, call it anything, will have a commission or an agency to hold accountable. Without this, these things will be also happening. So that is the way I can put it. Because
and you think that's going to help, owing that we've seen so many security agents.
so let me also add to it. Let me also add to it. Nigeria has a long way to go in livelihood. In fact, there is a proposal we are putting up now. A livelihood. How does it affect our elections? Ago. How does it affect our elections? It affects elections in a very badly. Let me take, for instance, now. Call a meeting in any ward. Because actually, if we want to see the ward members of a particular political party, go there. Both the ones in the political party and who are not, the ones who are members and the ones who are not members are there. What are they looking for? Just 500 or 1,000 naira that they can feed on that very day. So, in as much as we are doing electoral offenses, we also need to, make things just like sorry about this, but I have to say it. It's not even sorry. I don't have to apologize to it. What Governor Soludo is doing with one youth to skill in Anambra State is marvelous. Because I've seen young people who have been empowered with that program. Tomorrow, you won't use 2,000 naira to entice them. You won't use 2,000 naira. Come, I'll give you 2,000 naira to entice you to vote against his conscience. Because he's established. So that is why livelihood is very, very key. In as much as we are running for election, our leaders should also ensure that the livelihood of every citizen is prioritized. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is this. It is this livelihood that will determine if vote buying will keep moving on or reduce. That one will play a part. And also security agent. Because when we hear for a child, would you do get it? But with that, we can cop some, and then security agencies can also, delegated security agencies for electoral offenses will also do their work.
All right, in case you're just joining us, it's still good morning, Anambra, where we're talking about free, fair, and credible election. That's the campaign we're doing this morning on the television. At this point, we're going to take a short break. When we return, we'll continue, and we'll talk more on ways to go about it to ensure that we get free, fair, and credible election. Please don't go anywhere.
Must test for the new INEC chair, and the young man has come up to say a whole lot on the reforms that he wants, and then let's Nigerians sit down and watch. But before Nigerians begin to sit down and watch, in the Anambra, you actually need to go out there and then do your civic exercise. Make sure you vote. Now, coming to this issue, what we were talking about before the break that we embarked on, the vote buying, who engineers it and who executes it? Because we're talking about the fact that hunger has been weaponized by our leaders, and then they now come with the stolen money that should have built roads, built infrastructures, and then begin to give it to you piecemeal. And then Nigerians will now go and say, I'm collecting this money because this is my national gain. How do we change the orientation of Nigerians towards knowing that you're mortgaging and giving these people the impetus to loot your future the more?
You cannot change it now. Even if you want to change it, you cannot change it from outside. You need to solve the issue inwardly. You need to start from inside. Because
what buying didn't start. It's not. We didn't have it in 1999. We didn't have it in 2003. It's just something that just happened.
that's because the set of politicians that we have, they started it. And Nigerians, Anambrans, everyone aided them. And that is why when you see people campaigning, people are no longer interested in what you will do for us. As a governor, as a president, as a senator, as a House of Reps member, as even a local government chairman, a ward, or a ward council. People are much interested these days in what we can get from you.
Now.
And I do tell them, if you take 20,000 naira, if someone gives you 20,000 naira for you to vote him or her, and you take that 20,000, you have no moral justification to come tomorrow and say, you didn't do this for us. Because if I were 5,000 every year, for 4 years, yes, 10% of our voters, let me just use the word, 10%, according to the analysis Professor Jaja gave us the other day, 10% of voters are urging other electorates, let's run, what's it called?
Vote by.
Vote by this or that. And you will see, even in church, even in town union, you invite a candidate to talk. And when the time candidate is talking, everybody will just be yelling. What they are waiting
is
coordination.
This vote buying is not cut across Nigeria. In some areas, it's like a taboo. You can't even bring the currency out.
I doubt. I don't know. I do.
There are areas where they are partisan and this is who they want. If you like, bring a truckload of money. They will tell you that this is the person they are voting for.
Not in this Nigeria. No,
I've
so
seen
we
it.
monitor the elections. Now we've gone for elections.
I've seen it happen.
No, so you've been in the field
we've gone for
as a
elections.
civil society activist. This is not the first time we're having
Still,
by
people
elections.
take that
Sorry,
one.
this is not the first time we're having by elections in Nigeria. We've equally had general elections, local government elections here and there. And of course, we see a lot of things going on. I don't know if there are lessons we've actually learned as a people in previous elections that could help in improving this current election that is coming up on the 8th of November.
Well, experiences are many. I think there are people, in terms of vote buying, I've also seen few people who said, I'm not taking this money, like I said earlier. I think one happened around IML where they gave a woman some money and she said no. That thing, it went viral now. She said no, I am not, 5,000, right? She said no, I'm not doing that. But there are very few of them, okay? So that encourages me that there are people who still have conscience, towards our electoral system. But trust me, from the experience I've had, 80 or 85% of Nigerians are doing this vote buying.
As in, you collect the money.
You collect the money.
Then you now get to the polling unit where they tell you that while you're voting, nobody gets to know.
No, let me tell you that thing. The fact that you collect the money, when you are voting, you must show where you have voted for.
Then that means
that's the vote buying. They can't give you money and then allow you to just go and do whatever you like.
So you bring
now when
you lift it.
You do as if you are holding it. They will see the political. They will do side. Someone who is somewhere will give you, who've experienced this thing. So these are some of the things. So, but for me, I think, like I said earlier, they've not failed woefully. Mahmoud really did a lot, because I know in 2015 general election, 2019 general election are not the same now. There are certain changes.
Yeah.
But what played out in the 2023 was human factors, okay? that played out. Not that everything failed, but human had to add his own to make it a fraud. Okay, looked like a fraud, and it is. That was what it is. So from that, I also give kudos to them for these beavers, but it needs to be improved. We need to improve on it, both the people handling it and also the machine itself, so that we won't be having the glitches. The IRF is perfect, okay, but they need, that is early transmission of results. You see, that is also part of our recommendation. So if I have time, I'll just rush these recommendations before the end of this program, so that people will know what we have recommended. Okay, so what we have for the recommendations are these things. The top youth electoral reform priorities in Nigeria. 1, establishment of an electoral offenses commission, like I stated. 2, post-election petition resolution. I also mentioned that here. Then, timely transmission of election results, as I just spoke now. Then we have INEC leadership selection process reform. This is where they want to cut off presidential appointment of INEC leadership, okay? So that we looked at it as a partisan action, where president will appoint somebody, and at the end of the day, you wouldn't expect the person to work against the master.
The man that appointed.
Do you get it? So this also play a role in not having free, fair elections in Nigeria, because the appointee wants to do what? Satisfy the master and things like that. Oh, deliver this person, he will. Deliver the other person, he will. If he goes against that, he will be sacked. They will just pull every allegations, and so that thing needs to be removed from the president. That power needs to be removed from the president. But why this is ongoing? Because it's ongoing, that is why they were able to follow the law as it were, where president appoints, and that was, I think this one will take effect before 2027, but I know everybody wants this to happen. Then finally, we have interpretation and amendment of continuous voters registration provision. This one we are saying, go and pick your voters card. We want them to interpret the word continuous. If it's continuous, that means every day people turns 18, and once they turn 18, they should get their PVC. Then, in this clause now, are we still, does PVC actually, is it still working, the PVC? What does it serve while voting? If you take your PVC in any polling unit to cast your vote, what do they use it for? Do they slot it in the beavers? No. Because your thumbprint brings every details about it, right? So why the card again? Why are we using NIN? Why are we using BVN? All these things should be collapsed into one. And once you have it, you are eligible in Nigeria to cast your vote.
So that means you can vote with your driver's license. Is that what you're saying?
No, you can. No, we want to collapse the driver's license, collapse BVN, collapse all these things, and have one identity that can, yes, that a means of identification that can warrant someone to run activities at the national level, run activities at the state level, and also empower the person to vote as a Nigerian.
So what?
All this,
that is more like collapsing the commissions into one.
Which commission? The people that handle
FRSC, you understand?
No. Let me tell you, the number, if it's a number, the number you are using to cast your vote is the number you can also use to run your
driver's license.
Yes, that number is fine. What is your number?
That should then be the NIN number now.
Whatever it is, the proposal is this. These numbers are too many, and they serve national purpose.
These cards are too many, not numbers. The cards.
All of them carries number.
So I believe that there's nothing impossible. But I think it has to do with planning. Just
so
like
that's what I'm saying.
Proposal,
it's a proposal.
It's a proposal, but let's see. The ones we have are not really working as it should, as expected.
So, but why I'm mentioning this one is continuous. You know, the other ones are proposal attached to it, but this one continuous is let us have this registration of voters card happen every day. Once you turn 18, go to INEC or go to a kind of an outfit designed for this.
Now let's see, as we are wrapping up this show, you know, next week, Saturday, is the election day in Anambra State, November 8th to be precise. So I don't know, what are you telling the communities around in Anambra State that they ought to, what do they have to do, or whether they have to collaborate with other bodies to ensure a free, fair, and credible election come November 8th?
Okay, well, a free, fair, credible election is possible in Anambra State if only the actors will play their roles faithfully. The community leaders, they do their own. The INEC, they're being transparent. The security agencies doing their own work without harassing anybody. So it's possible. So when you were talking about youths. Even the youths, everybody has a role to play in this election come November 8th. Every man must maintain his or her lane. Political actors, political candidates should as well shun any form of violence across the states, polling units and local governments. But the reason why I'm using political actors is because not every governorship candidate will come to your ward. Like now I'm from Umuchi. You are from Aguluzibo. No candidates, no governorship candidate will come to your political ward that day. We are the ones there. But there are some of these political actors that for them to appease their masters and for them to feel, okay, this is what I did for my master when he finally emerges, they will just be trying to act funny. So a free, fair, credible election is possible in Anambra State. Anambra is the light of the nation. So once again, let's show the lights.
All right, we are looking forward to a free, fair, credible election come November 8th in Anambra State. And of course, you've heard it from those that are always in the field to ensure that that happens. And of course, for the confidence of the masses to be built towards the electoral body need to play their own role well. All the political gladiators need to do their job very well. And of course, the media, they are there to report what they see happen on ground. In all, we're praying for a peaceful, free, fair, credible election come November 8th. We'd like to thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time this morning on television.
Thank you.
So, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, our wonderful viewers. Thank you, Anambra.
All right, and that's just about it on this topic that we've talked about, campaigning for free, fair, and credible election come November 8th in Anambra State. My name is Nonya Mokoye, and thanks for watching.
And don't go anywhere. Up next is Catch the Bus, where we'll definitely be on a lighter note to talk on things that are trending on social media. Don't go anywhere. The show continues after this.